This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Hi everybody, Cheryl K from Unleashed. How is everybody today? I want to welcome my guest, Michelle Fern from Catitude. Welcome.
Hi everyone.
I'm glad you could be here. We'll be right back after a message.
Today's episode is sponsored by Hanover Square Press and The Secret Language of Cats: How to Understand Your Cat for a Better, Happier Relationship by Suzanne Schatz. Have you ever wondered what your cat is saying? In The Secret Language of Cats, Schatz offers a crash course in cat phonics to help you crack the cat code. Perfect for the fans of The Lion in the Living Room and the inner life of animals. The Secret Language of Cats by Suzanne Schatz is available for purchase today.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
We're back, and once again, I want to thank my friend Michelle Fern for joining us. Hi, how you doing?
I'm
glad
good.
to be here on this rainy, wintry.
Yes, we're so cold. Okay. That's a joke, people. It's steamy in the studio, and not in any way other than temperature. But, so, hey, Cheryl, for everybody that's listening that's not familiar with your show, because your show is hilarious and funny, tell them a little bit about your show before we get into, all the quirk and strange things.
The name
that
of
our
my
cats do.
show is Unleashed with Cheryl K. I also have a co-host, my friend Jerry. She's on a little trip, so, I just had in to get out and talk. So I thought, why not, come up with something with you? And I thought, why not talk about the strange things that are animals, especially cats. I have 2 cats now. I will be getting a dog at some point because I've always had dogs. But right now I have 2 cats. I have a Maine Coon, Daniel Boone, and I have Cheyenne. And I had some health issues within the last year with my eyes, and I was home for a while, and I noticed that their behaviors had changed. Instead of me being alpha, I am the alpha. Instead of me being the alpha, like, when you get up, when you go in to feed them, I was the one leading the way. They were following me. Now they wake me up, believe me, before the crack of dawn. Before the crack of dawn. And I have to follow them. And God forbid I should maybe stop, turn on a hall light. I notice they stop dead in their tracks and they look back like, am I following them? This is just different behavior, I think, because I've been home a lot. And just very, very strange. If I sit on the edge of the bed, maybe to put my shoes on or something. Daniel, who's a Maine Coon, and, Maine Coons are big cats, big paws. I started to notice that he'd put his paw on top of my hand, and now we hold hands. It's amazing. He'll give me his paw, I'll hold it. It's like a sign of, it's his new way of telling me he loves me, appreciates me, and he's so glad that I rescued him because I was very, very lucky that I got him in a shelter. Shelters do have, whether it's for cats or for dogs, they have pedigree animals. It's just amazing.
They have great animals, and I'm a big fan of adopt, don't shop. But, there's a lot of great places to purchase your animals, but there are so many rescues and shelters.
Best $100 I ever spent.
But let's get on. Well, I have a Maine Coon too, and that's Dennis, and he adopted me, and he's huge, and he's the most trusting of all my cats, and I have 5. I have a crew, and they all have their own personalities and funny things that they do that the latest thing that I'm finding is I have 2 outdoor cats. They're actually community cats, but I've taken them under my, umbrella of animals, and I have, I fix them. They have, I give them flea treatments. I feed them. They're just not ready for indoor. One might be, but they're boyfriend and girlfriend. So if I take one, the other one's going to be lonely, so I can't do that. But listen to what they do. Their cats are smart.
Oh, yeah.
So whenever I come home, they sit in the driveway. So my partner, he works from home. So there's generally, one car in the driveway, that open space. And so what they do, they see my car coming, they run and just sit in the driveway. And most people would think, well, that's a stupid cat. No, because this is the reason they do that. They have an ulterior motive. They sit in the driveway. So I stop because, of course, I don't want to squish a cat. That's, I can't even imagine that. They stop, and so I have to call, my guy and say, hey, come out with the treats. And he comes out with the treats, and that's how we get them to go. They do this relentlessly, almost all the time. Sometimes I fool them if I'm coming home a little earlier or later than they expect, but almost all the time they are waiting, and it's like, okay, honey, come out with the treats. And he just has to come out, shake the jar. He gives them treats too, but they just come walking over. It's like they,
I'll tell you right out. They already heard your car pulling into the blocks down the road. Because when I was living in New York, my cats knew when I was already coming at the beginning of the street. They know certain sounds that sound like you, just like, when you pull into your driveway and you close your door. Animals have a second sense about stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, my dogs, when they hear the ringtone, they know that, okay, I'm coming home or something. But we're talking about cats here. So tell me, you also told me that Daniel's doing a new thing to where he talks to you.
Yes, he meows. He never meowed. I've had him 5 years. Never meowed. He would open his mouth. You have a
cat that never meowed? Cats meow. They do that.
Cats meow, right. To each other, they do a different thing. To us, different. My female, she talks all the time. But he never talked. Once in a while, he would, mimic opening his mouth, and it was a loving gesture. And he is loud, very loud. He tells me sometimes, my female has claws, he doesn't. So if I'm outside on my patio with the door closed, the glass door, she takes her paw with her nails, and it's kind of like she's knocking, but I hear it. He doesn't have nails. Now I've noticed that he's jumping on the glass gently. I mean, he's not going to go through the glass or anything. But all of these different habits, and I think it's because I'm home. And
no, wait, let me get back to you. When you adopted him, he didn't have claws, right?
Of course not. I would never do that.
Yeah. So
he came declawed, fixed, and chipped. This cat was loved. I mean, loved. I don't know how it's my good fortune to have him.
Oh, yeah. He's a
but
great cat.
somebody really loved him because he's not skittish. He's very trusting, and they're very dog-like, Maine Coons.
Yes,
they really are.
loved him,
he
but
sits,
I don't like
stays.
that. Yeah, but I don't like that they declawed him.
Well, he came that way.
Yeah, but I just don't like that.
Yeah, it's a terrible thing. It's like chopping off your knuckles.
Right. It's not just like some people might think, well, it's just like taking the nail off. No, it's like cutting your knuckle for the cat.
Yeah, up to your knuckles. It's a terrible
horrible
thing.
Ugh. Okay, so I was reading about some strange cat behaviors, and one of them made me think, oh, this is so weird. But I read this in a couple of different places. You know how, and my cats are indoor, and the outdoor ones, thankfully, don't do this. But cats will often bring you like a dead rodent as a gift to you. But it's not only for a gift to you. I read in a couple different places that they think it's their contribution to,
to food,
to food for the house. So, they want to provide for you. So they want to help.
Have your cats seen you eating rats?
But for cats, they don't, know. And it's like some places said, it's like they're bringing a gift to you. And some places said they do it in order to provide, because unlike dogs, cats were domesticated a lot later, and they still have that hunting instinct to them. That's why you'll see some of the behaviors where they like to pounce on things, and then that they also stalk different, usually they stalk your other cats or your dog.
Well, they also are pack animals. They've done studies. They might be independent in their living and, the strays that we see, but they are also pack animals. I mean, with your group, the crew that you have, I mean, Daniel is by far twice the size of my Cheyenne, and yet when I feed them, Cheyenne will wolf down her food and go to try to eat his, and that's fine with him. He's not looking for any problems. But I'm sure you must see a difference in who's boss in your house.
Well, it used to be, Dennis was the only cat for a while. And then Charlotte we adopted her at 4 months. She was out in the wild, so she's a little skittish, except with my guy. I think she likes men more than women. I don't know. I just get that feeling. And then Molly is typical cat. Dennis is not like a cat. Maine Coon, he's more like a dog. But Molly's typical cat. She's a diva, Molly. She's cute and she can get away with everything. And they're all different, very behavior-wise. But Dennis, I think who rules everything is probably Molly, because Dennis doesn't care. He'll just walk away.
Right.
And Molly instigates with him.
He's dear. Yes,
but
dear.
When Molly was really little, because Charlotte is older by about 5 months. So when Molly was little, Charlotte would try to attack her. And we had a hard time trying to get them to be amicable toward each other. Right. It was a lot of work, a lot of, scents and on each other and letting them smell and getting them used to each other. It was a lot of work. I thought they would never get along. They still kind of don't, because what Molly does is she goes ahead and hisses and lets Charlotte, know that no, you can't go here and you can't go here and you can't. So she's kind of giving back what Charlotte gave to her. Dennis just goes away. He's happy lying on his back, which is another strange thing cats do. Right. He's happy lying on his back, eating. He used to be the big guy, but now now Charlotte's taken over because she's huge, or what one of my former guests said, of an impressive size.
Right.
She's, but definitely I think Molly rules it because she's like the little cutie. And so she has that spunk and all of that. And she is the one that, bothers everyone. Dennis could care less. As long as he's fed, he's okay, lying on his back, doing his thing.
When I first got Daniel Boone, when I adopted him from a rescue, they said, keep them separate, for 10 days. Well, I don't believe in that, because if you separate them, now in some certain circumstances, that might be well, but I'm not going to do that. So he was in, a carrier, and my female came in, and I had lost a male, and now she was alone, and she was never alone ever. She came in and she sniffed him, and she ran right away under the bed. And I let him out, and he smelled around, and he spent the entire night under the bed with her, just staying there, being by her side. And they were friendly. And then he came with a treatment for fleas. My cats have always been inside, even though I have pet screen. I never had fleas ever. I got fleas in my patio, and I brought them both to the groomer to be, bathed and shaved and whatever. And she let me keep them there overnight so I could do another dose of the balm. And I said, put them in the same cage. And they've been going steady ever since. So from bad came good, because they're buddies. I mean, they'll lick each other. Well, Cheyenne doesn't lick Daniel. Daniel does that. He'll clean her. And then after about 5 minutes, she smacks him. Sometimes 6 minutes, he'll smack her. But, play fight. But they sleep together, they eat together, they lounge together. I think it's great. When you make a match like that and the animals get along, it's heaven.
That's like my cats outside, but they made their own match and they're just like lovey-dovey.
We'll be right back after this break.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Dynavite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops. Get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved LicoChaps with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try LicoChaps. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dinovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Hi, everybody. We're back.
And we're talking about all the strange little quirks our cats do and, those funky, weird, strange behaviors. Now, Cheryl, what do you have you had any litter box strange
Terrible
stuff with
experiences coming up. Terrible. I went out and I just bought 2 new litter boxes, one with a cover, bigger than the one that I had, which I thought at that time was the biggest. Yeah, Daniel Boone just decided, I don't know. I mean, I clean it. It's not like I'm not there to clean it. I think he needs his own litter box. So I went out and I got a new litter box. But he was doing his business outside the litter box.
You know what? We had the same problem with Charlotte.
All of a sudden.
All of a sudden, Charlotte was doing her business outside the litter box. And we were trying to figure out, what does she want? Does she need her own litter box? And remember, I have 2 dogs too. And what do dogs like? Cat poopy. It's gross, but that's what they like. And it's not good for them. It's not healthy. They should not be doing that, but it's gross, but that's what they go after, cat poop. So
thanks for telling me after they licked me hello.
I'm sorry. Well, not lately. I had a solution. What I did, after figuring out, first we bought another litter box thinking, 3's not enough. Maybe we need 4 we had 4. Maybe we need 5 because you're supposed to have litter box for every cat plus an extra. So we bought an extra one and they're both tall enough, and she kept doing her business. And so then we thought maybe she can't fit in it anymore because Charlotte was a little cutie who became huge. I think she's like 19 pounds. She's just big. And we decided maybe let's try an uncovered litter box. Maybe she just can't fit into one. And that did the trick.
I tried that too. I tried unscented litter. I think
it wasn't the litter so much. It was that she needed an uncovered litter box. So what we did.
I tried that. It didn't work. I think first of all, my cats are getting up there in age. I mean, I've had cats that were 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 years. They're about 14, 15 from when I got them till now. I think my female is older, and I think because of that, maybe her urine is not, it's bothersome, and she goes towards maybe the back of the litter box. So I'm just going to use the 2, and I'm going to see how that goes.
Well, this is what we did, because with having dogs and everything, we purchased an automatic litter box, which we had one already, but it was outside on our patio and had seen better days. So we purchased an automatic one, which once they do their business, it waits about 15 minutes. So it gives the cat time to do the covering, whatever. And then it scoops all the stuff. But then that wasn't enough, because every time Charlotte would go there, Molly would, come by and say, hiss, kind of like, get out of there. Now you were mean to me. I'm getting back at you, kind of meows. So what we did was took the cover off one litter box and kind of had to barricade it with some dining room chairs so the dog couldn't get to it. And it's not the best solution, but for right now, that's what works. So
wait a minute. So you took the cover off of one litter box, you barricaded it with chairs so the dogs couldn't get there.
Dogs can get there, but the cat will fit. The little dog, Nicky's little. He doesn't eat anything from the ground. Maybe because he's purebred, he's snobby, I don't know. But he doesn't. He's not like that. But Zeus is a mutt, and he's retriever. So, their nose is always on the ground, eating up stuff. And I had to put the chairs so that he couldn't really reach and get there. And he's too scared to like try to, knock over a chair to get to it. But that was the only way. It's in a corner. There's like 2 chairs in front of it. And the only other way would be able to put some kind of fence or something. But that's what she kept going on carpets. She would go on the couch for no reason.
I got rid of all of my carpet. It's a beautiful thing when you have animals.
Well, these
other
are
than the tumbleweeds.
These are just like area rug kind of things, but still. Anyway, enough about litter box because, and you know what? This is something interesting that I found. One last thing. I've read that when they poop, usually they cover their poop because they want to cover their scent like they're out in the wild. But when they don't cover their poop, it means that your cat is annoyed at you. So if you did something to piss off your cat, watch out because your cat's not going to cover
on a daily basis. I must do something. If I get up, this is very strange. And I think it's because Cheyenne is old. It's not Daniel Boone. If I should get up in the middle of the night to use the restroom, she thinks it's time. It's dark out. She wants up, and it's never too early to feed a cat. It's the most ridiculous thing. And I climb under the covers, and she with her claws, not to hurt me, she strokes my hair. Because she sees
Maybe
me.
she thinks she's brushing your hair.
Maybe. But, do you see, I've had my cats groomed where they've been shaved. And, Daniel last year used to get knots all the time. And I brush him religiously every day. Maybe I miss a day, certainly the next day. And I have the ones that thin the hair out, and they love it. I could hold up a brush, and they will come running. With the big tail and everything. So he was getting knots all the time. And when I did have carpeting, I felt that him rolling on the carpeting, like you say, unusual, he'd lay on his back, with his gatkes hanging out, and he would get knots.
With his what hanging out?
Gatkes, it's just an expression. Everything hanging out. So I took him to the groomer, and they groomed him. They shaved him. And ever since then, no more knots. What I was doing, I would wash him. I put him in the sink. It wasn't pretty. They sit there all stiffened up, but I'd bathe them, and then I'd rough them up with the towel to dry them because, they like to lick themselves dry. And that made knots. But this time, the groomer took care of it, shaved him, and I let it grow in naturally. He was like a Marine. Bow-legged.
It was like a Marine?
Bow-legged and
real buzzed?
Short, real buzz cut. And he loved it, and especially in the summer. They're hot also. But I just kept brushing them. I don't want to poo-poo it, but no knots. That is the secret.
And what about, does Daniel lie, does he lie on his back exposing his belly to you?
Yes.
Okay, Dennis does that too. And that's supposed to be like
They trust us.
Yes, that's like the holy grail of, I love you, I trust you, because cats don't like
You're the only person in the home who feeds me. You know how to open up the cans. Yeah, sure, of course.
They love it when your belly, is exposed. And then there's something else, and I find this annoying when it's done to me, and you mentioned it. When your cat is on top of you and it's like kneading you, like pressing back and forth. And Molly does this, and she has nails, and she's not a light little cutie cat anymore. She's getting a little chubby. And when she kneads, I could feel the nails, and she'll lean on one leg, and it's like 15 pounds of pressure. So it gives you black and blues. But I was reading that is supposed to be like a very, comforting thing for them. And it means they love you and they trust you.
Daniel lays on my chest all the time.
Oh, that's one too. But the kneading is one of the things that also brings them comfort, because that's one of the first things they learn when they're, suckling at their mother to get milk. They knead. And that's why you'll see sometimes cats will flex their paws out, or when they're on you, they'll do that back and forth thing with 2 front paws.
And that's when he started to mouth a meow. And then he would, I'm serious, we hold hands. I'll take his paw in my hand. It's a sign of affection. And when I go to take my hand away, he's strong. I could feel his muscles tighten, and he's pulling me near him. This is, I would say, within the last 8 months, this habit. I mean, people change.
Yeah.
Animals
and cats
change.
too, yeah.
I think it's,
Dogs too.
I think it's wonderful. He's the first Maine Coon I've had, but he will not be the last. They are wonderful, loving, they really are loving animals.
You know what? This is kind of funny. Maine Coon Dennis was the first cat I had because I know I host Catitude, and I've had Dennis 9 years, but I grew up with dogs. And I thought, Dennis was so easy and everything, and so, not like most cats.
Cats was something that followed you home from school.
Yeah. I mean, Dennis was outside my door, opened it up, and he walked in, and that's how I ended up with Dennis. But I thought all cats were like Dennis, or most cats. And I remember telling a neighbor that I would cat sit for her from time to time, and I said, your cat's just nasty. I mean, my cat doesn't do any of this, thinking I'm, I don't know, I'm so fortunate, I have the best cat, blah, blah, blah. And she said, no, your cat is not normal. And now that I have Charlotte and Molly, it's like, yes, you're so right. Maine Coons are different. Not saying all cats are wonderful in their own way. I would not give up Molly or Charlotte for anything, but they're all different. And Maine Coons are a little different than some of the other, breeds of cats, mixes of cats. They just are.
Yeah, they're like gentle giants.
Yes.
But they are very dog-like. If I'm in my kitchen cooking, I could turn around. There's Daniel. He's hanging with me. He likes to be in my company. They both do, but he certainly. And, I have to tell you, I got this new feeder because I'm going to go away for a couple of days. So the feeder I had, I really didn't like it. The lip was very short on it. So when they were eating, it would get messy. So I retired that. And I went out and I went looking for a different type of feeder. And I found one and I thought it was pretty cool. I don't know the company, but they're all plastic. It looked like a mason jar on the top. And I thought, this is great. But the problem is, if I'm not there to shake it, it doesn't feed to the bottom where they could eat it. So you have to hear what I did. So I'm going away and, I could pull out the old one or I could leave a big bowl. I'm only going for 4 days. So I was trying to teach them, they'll eat in a circle and there's no more food, but it's you could see it, but I'm not going to be there to shake it. So I took both their paws and I shoved it in there and it came out. I thought Cheyenne for sure got it. Daniel, who's bigger head, bigger brain. I finally was able to get him to do it, but nope. So I have to shake it. I even put a chopstick in the middle. I thought maybe I'm going to have to add to it because I can't go away with the thought that they're not going to be able to get to their food. But crazy. You want to teach an old cat a new trick. So when I left the house today, there was some space. I'm going to see if they've figured it out yet for themselves.
They might. They're very innovative. Not innovative. They're very intelligent with things like Dennis.
Maybe they're not hungry enough.
Maybe. When I first got Dennis, what he would do if he was hungry, and he liked dog food for some reason, and it's not good for him, and he ended up having to have a surgery, but I don't think it was just because of dog food. But he would slice the bags open. We had to buy a canister that held all the dog food from Simple Human. I remember the name, and which is better anyway because it eliminates the little microscopic bugs that you can hardly see and all that. But he would just slice it open and say, "I'm eating it. I don't care." And so we just have to be careful with anything with Dennis. But he's gotten better over the years. So we're almost out of time. Tell me, what is the weirdest thing that either Cheyenne or Daniel does?
Well, I think his new habit of pouncing, not terribly strong. I don't want our, listeners to think that they're going to, but his little pouncing on the glass, my glass patio door to let me know he wants to come out and be with me. That was a new sound. See, with Cheyenne, she'll do it, and because she has claws, I hear the click. But him pouncing, I think that's pretty smart, I think. He doesn't meow that, but he meows in the house. And I hear that. It's like, what do you want? Like, what are you calling me for? but it's different, it's a different meow than they're getting sick, because that's a meow that, we react instantly. No, I
That's
think...
like almost a howl meow.
Yeah, no, he's just calling me. I think he just found his voice.
Well, this is my new thing that I don't think I really like so much, but she doesn't like being turned around. Molly likes to go on my chest and do the kneading thing, but then she likes to turn around. So what do I see? Cat tushy. Okay. I mean, she's sitting, but still, I don't really want the butt right there by my face. So I tried to turn her around. She didn't go for that. So that's her new thing. So I don't know. She's laying on me, which means she's, being loving. Maybe she thinks she's being lookout or something.
Yes.
I have
because
no idea.
Cheyenne, when she cuddles with me, she'll come up and she'll face out, but she'll be cuddled. Yeah, so that's probably it. I mean, not that. She's just being lookout.
Yeah. Hey, I'm watching out for everyone, blah, blah, blah.
I just want to thank my guest, Michelle Fern, for spending some time with us. And I want to remind everybody to live life unleashed. I want to thank my producer, Mark. And thank you, Michelle, for being here. I hope you'll come back and spend some time with us again.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.